This is your cars list. This is off of my railroad and it is extensive. Just make this comment: you need to make sure that you've made backups of this. Keep backup outside the existing computer to an outside source, and also back it up and get it out of a building it's in. If it's your house, go put a stick in your car or something. But this is, for me, something I'd hate to even think about replacing. So what do we want to do now is add a car. So we click on down here at the bottom, add a car. And up pops this box. Key thing here is when you go to add, this is the road symbols. If you want to add a new one, and you're going to find out real quick that more than 50% of the symbols are going to be missing that you want to use. So you're going to have to click the edit button, and then you're going to go in here and you're going to click in ZZZ, okay, and click add. I'm not going to put it in there, but you're going to click add. When you go back up here, ZZZ is going to be right there at the top. And that applies in the area of edit here for the type and also for the length. Anything you add is going to be at the top until you shut the Panel Pro down, quit, save quit, and then restart it. Then when you restart it, all these will be in alphabetical order. So let's play like we're putting a car in here, and its road number is AA. We put 999, and it's an RBL box car, and it's 50 feet long. Remember, put the actual length of the physical car, not the couplers, because the computer is going to add, when you put 50, the computer is going to put the car in as 54 feet long. It will add 2 feet on the end of each and every car you put in for couplers. Then the next thing is where you're going to put the car at. I'm going to say we're just going to set this car down here in the Silverville location, and we're going to put it at yard track number 4. It's a brown car, and we're going to say it's loaded. Okay, so that takes care of, because if it's going in a yard, I don't need to worry about whether it's loaded or empty. The computer will do it. If I was going to put it at the Coors Brewery, like right here, I was going to go up here and set it at the brewery. Since I'm putting it in place, loads, and physically loading it in place, I'd put it in as a loaded car. Because the way the brewery is set up now, and I did this later, you don't have to do it. You can leave all your spurs to where it accepts empties and loads. You don't need to worry about that until the cars start moving. Then you can start going back and fine tuning. Now the way my Coors Brewery is that it only accepts empty box cars or empty RBL cars. It receives loaded grain cars, and that, you know, as far as the type of loads it gets. So if I'm going to physically go place a car at a place that takes empties, believe it or not, I have to set it in as a loaded car, because the local delivered the empties. When we finished running the local, we went into the computer and we terminated the local train. When you click the terminate button and the car is sitting at a spur, it switches the load from empty to full. So now the car is sitting there full, waiting for you to run the local again so that the switcher can come pick up this full loaded beer car and get it out of here. So anyway, that's how this works. The bottom down here, when you get into kernels, build owners, there's also sections in here about loads. I'm not going to fool with any of that to start with. I haven't gotten into it. I do all my car restriction by the type of car right here, right up at the top. Type of car. I have every car in the world. Every spur's got its own type car. So then you can just restrict your E's and L's if you need to, and that'll make them move like crazy. So, and that's what we're really after, is making the cars move. All right, so that takes care of adding a car. One other thing I like to say here, this is a big spreadsheet. If you go up here and you click on numbers, it sorts by numbers. If you click on a road, it sorts by roads. Click on type, sorts by type. You can also do the same thing down here at the bottom. Click on type. If you click find car again, like it returns the thing to its normal status. That was one I uncovered. But anyway, this is all of your different type of things. Click moves, and it comes up and it gives you the empties and fulls. This is your fulls, your column over here with the number of moves the car's made. It's kind of a good way to watch cars, particularly when you start. If you see one sitting in there with a 1 and a 0 and it doesn't change, then you got something wrong. You need to go back and look at it. And you notice that the cars here, oh man, we've been at this for about 1.5 years or so. The numbers are pretty consistent as to where they're going. You know, we don't have anything way out of range. It is, by the way, that's how this thing is sorted right now, is car numbers, car move numbers. So highest move is, I got a cargo grain car, hopper grain, that's got 98 moves on it. Now, that's not totally true, because when you go in and build a train, you look at it and say, I don't like that the way it came out. You hit the reset button and you go start changing around moves and how the train runs, and to make it do different things. When you hit that reset button, the one time the car move counts, that gets counted. It doesn't reset the count number. So the number, if you rebuild the train 10 times, all the cars in it are going to go up number by 10. So there it is, another little tip about the program. All right, we're back here at the cars list. One of the little conflicts as you go along, and we talked about, was it locations, what cars would be at locations. I also mentioned that you're going to find about 50% of the cars you want to put into the system aren't there. This is probably the little bit of the area where you're going to have to go back and make sure everything's correct. So you've created a location in a spur. The kind of car you want to go in that spur isn't there. So you're going to have to wait and put the type of car in that spur later. And where it's going to come in is going to be here in cars. Now at the bottom you're going to click add. The car window is going to come up, and so we'll just say that its road nomenclature is AA, and this is that famous 999999 car again, and we're giving it the name of XXX, okay? And we're gonna give it the name of XXXX. We're going to click add. And here's the key window right here. Add new car to service. Yes. Then on the other side, you're going to get this. And you're going to have to say, yes, the car can go in Apex, click it. And then you're going to have to go down to each place in Apex and decide whether that kind of car can go in that location. So this is where you kind of meld the cars and the locations together. And as you see, this gets I can't move it right now because I haven't clicked yes, but once I click yes, added, I could scroll all the way through all my locations on the railroad. There's a couple of interesting buttons at the bottom. You can add it to every place. Select all, clear all, save. I guess that's probably an important thing you need to do there at the bottom, is hit the save button. So then you go ahead back over here and finish filling out the car. You're dealing with car type. You're adding a type to a spur, not a specific car. When you get to the next parts down below, then you're going to get into right here and here, where it goes. This is where you'll put the location, and then the spur that's on or whatever. So this is going to be this is going to probably be the melting point between the locations and the cars, because you can't do both 100%. You're going to be able to do the locations and the spurs, but you're not going to be able to, when you put the cars in, you're not going to be able to put the types in all the spurs because you won't have all the car types in yet. So when you start putting your cars in and you add car types, then you'll be able to go in and place them on the spurs. Moving in. The next step we want to get into is building a route. Again, under operations, you would select routes, and that's what we have open right here. So these are my routes on my railroad here. And I just want to tell you, as I said earlier, you can get into playing this game all you want. I have kind of gone overboard. So we add a route, you're going to get this picture right here. You're going to have to give the route a name. Now remember, like on my east-west manifest trains, the east route and the west route would be basically the same even if you ran 3 different trains. You could have manifest freight train 100, 110, and 120, and use the same route for all 3 trains. Just give the train a different name. So this is a route name, and we'll just call this route XXX for sakes. And you can go over here and make comments about what the route does, and we're going to say it goes to XYZ, okay, or XZY, okay. So the next thing you want to do is, where does this train come and go? Well, let's just say it's going to go across the railroad. It's a manifest freight. So it's going to start in, well, okay, I'm sorry. You have to say, add that route to the program right there. So it's added it. It's also added it over here in the bottom right there on my list of routes. So the next step is adding, where does the train start at? Well, let's just say it starts here in Golden. We're going to click it here, and if it's in Golden, that means it's coming out of staging. Add at the top, add at the bottom. In this case, it doesn't make a difference. We'll just add location because it's the first one. And if it's starting at the staging, and I know that usually that means there's about 20 cars in there, and it's pickups. It's no set outs. We got a little error here. Okay, I gotta fix this. Sorry. 20. Okay, and it's gonna be no set outs. Okay. Maximum length doesn't make any difference here because the way my railroad's set up, it went in at 900 feet. So that's the first one. So the next place in the list, and that's where you kind of need your little diagram. Now my train, when it comes out of staging, it runs up the helix. First place it comes to is Golden. So we're going to add, we're going to add Copper, Colorado Springs, and we'll click add location. Now in this case, the only things at Colorado Springs is a siding. So we have no. We're gonna say that moving on down the track. So the next place it goes to is tunnel 29. You have to have locations for your operators to recognize as they go along. Kind of tells them they're on the right track. So we're going to add the location, and again, this is a 0. No pickups, no set out, because there's no place to pick up. It's just a location that'll print out on the manifest. Now it's going to come to the first town, and this is the town of Rockridge. And we're going to add location. Oh, one other thing I forgot to do here, going back, we can fix this quick. If the train on my railroad started in Golden, since that's the furthest eastern terminus of this railroad, then this train has got to be going west. So we need to flip this and make these west. So it arrives in Rockridge. Well, Rockridge, kind of know what goes on there, so we'll allow it to make 10 moves. Does not mean it'll make 10 moves. The computer's going to look and say, I got this in the train, what can I pick up and what can I swap in? In this particular case, the train is short. It's got plenty of room to put cars in, so it may just pick up. What the computer's going to do, you'll never know. And believe me, it surprises you. So it's going to pick up and it's going to set out, and it can get out to the length of 1,300 feet. And then we're going to go on to the next place on the railroad and keep moving on like this, and then we're going to click over here and click Save Route, like so, and that's going to put it in. Now you keep on adding places till you got your whole route in, and that would be building the route. If you have to add a place in, you do it over here. If you want to put it on this, if you put it on the bottom, if you added something at the bottom and you wanted to move it up, you'd have to click the up button. It would go to here. If you wanted to go up once more, you'd have to click it again, and then it would go to here. Again, this is kind of one of those things you're going to have to get in here and play with this to get how you do things. One other thing I did not mention was weights. Weights is the number of times it skips going and doing something. If you have a weight move number on there, and I'd go back and read the book on this one because I don't use weights anywhere, but in the old rail op program, that would mean every car would have to wait one time. The train would have to pass through one time before it would be eligible to be moved. So I've got a feeling it's pretty much consistent in JMRI operations. You can set departure times also on the end, and I just have so much time allocated, and you saw it in the settings part on my railroad for switching and so much for traveling, and the thing generates a whole clock and schedule for the movement of trains. This is one area which I'm going to start working on improving on, because it's where we need help. So anyway, we now built the route. You've saved the route's up there in the system. So now the next step after this is you're going to create a train, and we'll move right ahead. 2 trains right here. Now these are all my trains, and here's the favorite one currently with the crew is the train 80, the grain ethanol train. So if I open that up and we hit the edit button, you're going to see right here it's that train. I gave it that name. You can name them. There is a limit here. You can see who's got to start abbreviating. You can't get outside that box. I think it's 26 letters. The route is right here. You can edit the route by going here, and that's it right there. You can play with it. You can use that route on another train too, by the way. this is the ethanol grain train. That's all it handles. So you'll notice right there, you have that box hopper grain checked. And if we swing this up a little bit, we'll see tank ethanol is checked. And this is the places where it stops along the way. And you can scroll those down. That's its route, and that's where it stops. Now, you're going to see down here, I got all these are checked as far as what kind of locomotives you can have. You can restrict this. I just checked them all because right now we don't sign locomotives. You can get into that right here. Locomotives 2, caboose, Fred. There's all kind of other aspects here that you can get into. And don't forget this button right here. When you build all these things, you want save the train, save it, save the route, save the train. Let's go back to, remember this button right here. And I don't know if I can force the issue. Right here, reset train. Okay? Got to remember where this button is. Now, I'm going to go down here and probably the most important button in the world, right here. Okay, that button, it says that radial spot right there, pull down, it says terminate. You click on that one, it's going to give you the question, are you sure you want to terminate? Because if it's built, you terminate it, and you don't run that train, you got a mess. You know, there is a way to go back and figure out the printout so you can go move the cars without having to guess at it. Generally speaking, there's these 3 buttons down here: move, conductor, reset. I always keep mine in the reset mode because you can reset the trains. The only thing I'm going to tell you about the reset button is you build a train, don't like the way it looks, and you need to change something. You reset it. All the cars that were in that train just got 1 added to their move count. So, you know, some move count numbers may jump up real quick because you're building, because when you start with this thing, you're going to play with it. There is a way now to go back and reset the move count to 0. And after you play with it a while and you want to say, okay, let's see what happens, you may want to try that because you're going to be doing a lot of resetting in the beginning. So you will go down here once you've gotten your route set up, you got a train set up, and you think you're ready to hit the thing. First thing you want to do down here is you want to hit the button bill reports. You want to have that clicked. Preview, bill reports preview, show all in the reset mode. And if you go over here to my favorite train now, right now, it may not be next week, and you click the bill button, there it is, it's built. And you want to see what the train looks for. Right now it says preview. You go to preview and you're going to get this screen up. Okay, now I see if I got this right. You notice how it was stacked. There was another one behind it. On another page in here, I have a button clicked that says show detailed bill reports. You saw me when I went down here and I'm gonna have to pick this one up too. Can't move them both. I have bill reports clicked right there. This is a bill report starting at the top. It's a pretty good sized train, so just watch. It goes on and on and on. Don't print these things out. Your printer will not last through one of these things. And we ain't even scratched over here. If we go up to the little button, you can see up there. So we'll give it the quick. This is a bill report. That's what that computer did to build this train. And you can kind of